Hello, today I'm here to talk about some changes that I would like Summoner class to see coming into Evercold. I'm going to break this up between the big summons that you have, the small summons that you have, some rotation things, Searing Light, and as well Limit Break. And so I hope that you guys will enjoy this video and tell me what you like in the comments or dislike. So the first thing that I want to talk about is our big summons. We have Bahamut, Phoenix, we have Solar Bahamut, and I'm pretty sure in Evercold we're going to get a new summon as well. Um, my main thing about the summons is that we don't have access to them all at the start of our encounter. This is probably one of the things that I would like to see changed with that. I think that Bahamut, Phoenix, Solar Bahamut, and our new summon, we should have access to all of those at the start of an encounter, and then using one puts the other ones on cooldown. I think that cooldown's around 55 seconds. Then, not only based off of that, each of those summons should have do something differently, but have like a little bit of tweak to each of them. Obviously, Bahamut would be big damage, constant attacks being done. And now, if we go on to Phoenix, the Phoenix down, um, I would like that to be either like a permanent ability that you could do on someone, or an ability you can just press that stays on your hotbar after Phoenix is summoned, so that we have more kind of like an instant res. First person that dies, you push the button, it'll res it. If multiple people die, it'll pick someone randomly and res them. So that's as well as like its massive aura as far as regen and things like that. Now, Solar Bahamut is something that I kind of feel like is useless when it comes to the heal that it has, and I think it does less damage than what regular Bahamut does. So, kind of to circumvent that, it would be cool if Solar Bahamut just provided mana regeneration and gave like a mana buff to everybody in the party. Kind of be like the opposite of Phoenix, since like the sun gives energy and things like that. And so I think that would be pretty cool. As far as our new summon, since we have a summon that does big damage, and since we have a summon that heals, and hopefully, they take my consideration on Solar Bahamut mana, I hope that the new summon that we get does some sort of debuff. Now, when it comes to small summons, as far as Titan, Garuda, Ifrit, there's not really a specific way for you to summon each of them. Um, Even through whichever one that you summon first, you get to summon the other two afterwards. And so it's kind of like a repetition sort of thing. There's not really any sort of changes to it, anything casual to it that is different. And so for Titan, it'd be nice if when Titan came down, if he gave everybody kind of like a damage mitigation buff, like 10 seconds, like reduced damage or something like that. We already see this in PvP. We see Garuda. Garuda does give a speed buff, gives a speed buff to yourself, puts a speed debuff on your opponents. So it'd be nice if we saw that transition come over to the PvE aspect of the game. We do have Scholar, and Scholar does something similar to that, but Scholar is just so difficult at times to manage your mana, and it's also difficult just to get in the right position to do certain abilities. So if we brought that speed over from Scholar and the speed buff that we already get in PvP and bring it to Garuda PvE wise, I think that would be really great and help and add some uniqueness to the class and more tools for us to use. Now, on the subject of Ifrit, um, the thing with Ifrit is that Crimson Strike does do a lot of damage, but it always puts us in an awkward position, and most of the times it's not practical for us to cast it and to sit there and cast the ruin itself, especially with how long it is to cast that spell specifically. I know Crimson Strike is fast, but it's the fact that it puts you out of position and you have to plan around it. It doesn't really make sense. It's one of the only spells that Summoner has where you have to hesitate on when to use it compared to the other spells. So it'd be nice if Ifrit just empowered your Ruin and made your Ruin into a Ruin 4. Um, I think that, being able to like start blasting and machining and gunning away with Ifrit would be a nice touch. It'd be a nice DPS boost for Summoner that's already lacking in that area. And when it comes to energy drain and things like that, there's not really, it seems like energy drain's kind of like a filler spell. It doesn't really do anything outside of just doing damage. And so, one of the things that I would like to see done to energy drain is that energy drain kind of give you like instant cast charges. With your Aether Flow, get two instant casts kind of to take with the two that you have. And that would be great because if they change Ifrit into making your Ruin 4 spammable or casting your Ruin 4, then that instant cast would be able to help you cast that spell and at the same time free up your instant cast for a res in case you die and you have to summon your pet again. Well, now you have another instant res on the back burner or another instant summon as well. When it comes to Zerine Light, I know that we're moving away from 2 minute meta. Thankfully, I'm happy for that. And we're getting rid of some of the buffs, or if not all the buffs that are given to the party because of the 2 minute meta. And so when it comes to the question of Zerine Light, I don't know how personal buffs will be affected. I imagine that we would keep our personal buffs. I'm not sure. But regardless, since we're going into Evercold, which is a new expansion, I think it's time that we introduce Searing Light and we change it to Zeta Flare. We've seen Zeta Flare a couple of times in games. We've seen it in 16, we've seen it in Kingdom Hearts, and I feel like it's time for it to come home to Final Fantasy 14. Thematically, it'd be great for the storyline, it'd be great for the summoner class, and it would just be a really cool spell. I'm pretty sure the team would make it look amazing just to have access to that, and just summoners to be able to cast Zeta Flare would be absolutely cool, and I think a lot of people would love it. And last but not least, this is a honorable mention, but it's about time that Limit Break 3 across all DPS classes is the same. There's a little bit of a game theory behind this, in my personal opinion. Having LB3 locked behind a melee the majority of the fights just doesn't make sense. It would also help with the overall health of the game, and it would help melee be not as greedy. I think that like melee have kind of like positioned themselves in this area where it's like, oh, we get LB3, we get LB3. Well, if all LB3s for damage dealers are across the board the same, that gives more diversity and more unique play styles for everyone to contribute to the fight, especially because there are some fights where LB3 for melee is rather difficult. So having all casters, all fizz range, have the same type of damage to LB3 would not only help with the melee toxicity that already exists in the game, but kind of spread it out so that way other people can contribute to the fight as well and position themselves better. Because there are some fights where having a range do an LB3 is a lot more beneficial if it was possible at the time compared to a melee. Other than that, I hope you guys liked the video. I kind of went over it a couple times to make sure I made my points. Of course, there's tons of room for improvement, but I feel like these changes would really make the change to Summoner and make it more appealing because right now, this whole expansion, Summoner hasn't done anything, damage isn't doing anything, pretty bottom of the totem pole. And when it comes to res mages, battle combat, well, red mage takes a spot for that. Not only that, red mage has mitigation buffs as well to contribute to the fight. So there's really no reason to bring a summoner to the raids, which is rather unfortunate because it is the poster child of Final Fantasy in general. Thanks, guys, and take care.